Yesterday we saw more school strikes for climate with rallies outside MPs' offices around Australia. And I've said it before, but I'm so inspired by these students. They understand the seriousness of the problem and how important it is to tackle climate change. Right now, I just want to talk about the effect of climate change on cities, because when we think of climate change, we probably think about the effect on our land and waterways and oceans. And that's a big and important part of climate change, of course. It's our cultural heritage at risk there, and agriculture makes up about 14% of our exports. So for us, climate stability is food security and economic security. But climate change impacts our cities as well. And that's a big deal because 90% of Australians live in cities. And it's not just the urban heat island effect, which increases the risk of heat stress. Climate change is making extreme weather events more frequent and more intense. It's not uncommon now for Sydney to get a whole month's rainfall on a single day, and sometimes in the space of a few hours. And sometimes we get intense hailstones, intense hailstorms with weird hailstones. The hotter the day, the more violent the storm that follows in the evening. But our cities were not built to handle flash flooding like that or extreme heat. So these events cause chaos and lost productivity at best. So our roads melt to the point where they become too smooth to be safe to drive on, and train tracks expand to make it unsafe for trains to go at their usual speed. A single storm in December caused 1,000 SES callouts across New South Wales and grounded 100 flights and cut off 10,000 homes from electricity. Try blaming that on renewables. Extreme weather can even take lives. More precisely, it's the fact that we're unprepared for that sort of weather that makes it so dangerous. When we built our cities, the climate was actually different to what it is today. So, what can we do about it? The New South Wales Transport Minister says that you should leave work early if there's a storm forecast for the afternoon. And that might be all right for salaried office workers, but there are a lot of other workers, particularly likely to be low-paid ones, who can't just up and leave in the middle of their shift if there's a storm forecast for the afternoon. We actually need to build and adapt our cities and infrastructure for the world that we've created, which is one with violent storms and 47-degree days. And we need to stop making it worse. If someone tries to silence you by talking about the cost, economically, of doing something about climate change, just remind them of the cost of doing nothing about climate change. The Science Party is sick of seeing nothing done about climate change in Australia. So if you want to check out our energy and environment policies, please do. And if you want to see them happen, vote Science on the 18th of May.
Authorised by S. Manicum for the Science Party and more.